David, did Bud have a chance against Canelo?
I think he does, bro. I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Bud, his IQ and his experience will definitely help him through. It's just that, you know what I mean? It's going up 2 other weight classes when he had just went up to 154.
Caleb Plant has broken his silence on the highly anticipated clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, and his verdict has sparked major buzz.
Stylistically, this is just my last follow-up. Do you think Canelo should be the favorite in the fight because he's bigger, or do you see he had trouble with Skull, his speed? Terence is going to throw a lot more, and he has that speed also.
Regardless of however the fight itself plays out, I feel like the betting, the betting people will probably have Canelo as the favorite.
Having experienced Canelo's power firsthand, Caleb Plant believes this fight will be unlike anything fans have witnessed recently. He emphasized that the showdown between the Mexican superstar and the American pound-for-pound great is set to bring a completely different kind of energy. Anticipation has been building for months, and with the date now fast approaching, excitement is at an all-time high. On September 13th, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas will play host to one of the biggest events in modern boxing history. Terence Crawford will be stepping into the super middleweight division for the first time, attempting to dethrone Canelo, the reigning undisputed champion at 168 pounds.
Canelo, Crawford.
Canelo. What do you think the most significant part of that matchup in Canelo versus? That he's comfortable at 168. That he's been fighting there. He went and collected all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154, and then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, of course he's probably been training, again, high-class fighter. But to be comfortable at 168, you're going to have to do some fights in there. Going in there fighting the undisputed champion, it's going to take a toll.
Plant, who once held the IBF title before losing it to Canelo, broke down the matchup from his perspective. He predicted a fight full of action, with far more exchanges than fans have seen in some of Canelo's recent outings. While he acknowledged that the odds naturally favor the Mexican star, given Crawford is moving up several weight classes, Plant stopped short of making a prediction. In his view, this is the kind of fight fans should savor for what it is, rather than overanalyzing who will come out on top.
It doesn't matter what the betting odds. It doesn't matter what the betting odds say, though. You know what I'm saying? I've been the underdog a couple times. Jose Uzcategui, I was the underdog, so I became world champion. So odds only mean so much. Once the bell rings, the fighters get to figure it out.
Do you think Canelo wins? Or do you think Terence wins? This is my last one.
Can't say. Don't know. I'm just as a fan, excited to see the fight, and from the boxing knowledge that I have, which I feel like is decent, I think it's going to be a real good fight.
Not everyone is taking the cautious approach like Plant. Mexican legend Julio César Chávez Sr., one of the nation's most celebrated champions, offered a far more decisive take. In his eyes, there's no question that Canelo's strength and size will simply overwhelm Crawford, no matter how much skill and craft the American brings. Chávez Sr. insists the physical gap will become clear as the fight wears on, predicting that Canelo won't even let it reach the late rounds. He envisions the Mexican star finishing the job with a knockout somewhere around the 6th or 7th round.
Es una pelea muy dispareja, la verdad. Crawford es un gran peleador, pero no tiene nada que hacer en ese peso. Con todo respeto, él va por el dinero y Canelo lo va a noquear.
The two fighters are going to be different weight classes, even though they're going to fight on a specific weight. He believes that they're just going because of the money, Crawford, but probably Canelo is going to knock him down.
Antonio Tarver, however, sees the fight from an entirely different angle, expressing full confidence that Crawford can shock the world once again. While he recognizes the risks of facing Canelo, Tarver believes Crawford's mental sharpness, adaptability, and fluid style could tilt the balance in his favor. He points to Crawford's speed and unpredictable rhythm as key weapons against Canelo, a fighter who thrives on timing, counters, and steady pressure. For Tarver, this clash isn't about size. It's about which man can make the smarter decisions when the heat is on.
Terence gotta be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. and he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill set.
Another heavyweight voice to join the conversation is Andy Ruiz, a man who knows a thing or two about shocking the boxing world after his upset win over Anthony Joshua. Ruiz made it clear he holds Canelo in high regard, but he also stressed that styles often matter more than size. He reminded fans that Canelo has historically struggled with slick southpaws, and Crawford's left-handed stance, paired with his sharp ring IQ, could pose serious problems. Like Plant, Ruiz stopped short of picking a definitive winner, calling the matchup too dangerous on both sides to make any certain prediction.
If you were in the Canelo Crawford card, that card would be a million times. It's still an amazing card, but you would have added a lot. Who wins, Canelo or Crawford?
I think it'll be a good fight, man. I'm going for Canelo, of course. You know, the Mexican warrior as well. And for Crawford, man, you can't neglect him or you can't underestimate him as well. You know, he has a lot of skills, a lot of movement. He's a lefty as well. That's what Canelo has trouble with. I think it's going to be an amazing fight, man. I just can't wait, and the best man wins.
On the more cautious side, veteran trainer Abel Sanchez voiced a different kind of concern. He warned that Crawford's body may not hold up well to such a rapid jump across multiple weight divisions in a short period of time. Though Crawford has bulked up considerably over the past year, Sanchez argued it takes years, not months, to properly build the kind of frame capable of absorbing punches from a fighter like Canelo. He also cautioned that the added muscle could slow Crawford down, potentially dulling the speed and sharpness that have defined his career. And if those assets slip even slightly, Sanchez believes Canelo will make him pay.
Have a guy come up from 140 pounds, such a short period of time. I'm not saying he couldn't have done it. If he'd have taken 3 or 4 years like Canelo did and built up his, not only his strength, but his bulk in the correct way, he would have had a better chance. But to do it in these 14, 15 months that he's done it.
The matchup has even drawn insight from Andre Ward, widely regarded as one of the sharpest minds in boxing. Ward highlighted the similarities between Canelo and Crawford, noting that neither is a pure slugger nor a traditional outboxer. Instead, both are versatile hybrids who blend power with precision and strategy. According to Ward, the key to victory won't be about proving who hits harder, but about maintaining the perfect balance between offense and discipline. In his view, any lapse into recklessness from either man could quickly spell disaster.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat me.
Erislandy Lara, who knows Canelo well from their controversial fight years ago, believes Crawford's best chance lies in movement and discipline. Lara, long known for his legs, slick defense, and ability to frustrate opponents, sees a similar blueprint for Crawford. In his view, trading heavy shots would only feed into Canelo's strengths, but staying elusive, managing distance, and making Canelo chase could swing rounds in Crawford's favor. For Lara, this fight won't be decided by brute force, but by ring control and composure.
Very interesting 50-50 fight. He feels that Canelo's very strong right now. He wants to figure out to see how Crawford's going to handle the power, especially in the early rounds, and what's going to happen. So yeah, he said he remembers fighting Canelo back 14 years ago it is now. And he said he remembers he used his legs real good, and as long as Crawford uses his legs and he doesn't let Canelo just hit him in the arms and beat him up in the arms, he has a very good chance of fighting.
Amir Khan's perspective carries unique weight, having shared the ring with both men, though both encounters ended painfully for him. In 2016, he suffered one of Canelo's most brutal knockouts, dropped cold by a thunderous right hand. 3 years later, Khan faced Crawford, only to see that bout end in frustration when a low blow led his corner to stop the fight. Yet despite those experiences, Khan surprisingly leans toward Crawford. He praises the Nebraska native's brilliant boxing IQ and insists that Crawford's often underrated power makes him a far more dangerous threat than many expect.
He might be even stronger than Canelo. He might be stronger than Canelo. He might pack the weight on well. That he might do really well in there. So look,
You fought them both. Like, what are the differences between them? Obviously, it's weight.
Canelo's strong and he's easily hit. Very easily hit. Very easily. Compared to when I fought against Crawford. Crawford, I couldn't hit clean.
Yeah.
So really, that's the difference. And they both hit hard. Because and you can see the strength. You know, when I was fighting against Crawford, I didn't think Crawford was that strong, but when he kind of moved me around a little bit, he is very strong as well. So look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much weight? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go up and fight Canelo?
Still, plenty of cautionary voices remain. Regis Prograis, known for his own aggressive style, has warned fans not to underestimate Canelo's experience against bigger punchers. He pointed to names like Sergey Kovalev and Gennady Golovkin, fighters with size and power who still couldn't overwhelm the Mexican star. Prograis doubts Crawford will be able to carry both his speed and his punching power all the way up to 168 pounds. In his view, that gap in physical strength could prove decisive, creating a gulf too wide for Crawford to bridge.
I think that Crawford has the ability to outbox Canelo. You gotta look at it. And then Canelo's older. Crawford has the ability, but he's small. You know, and he can look bigger in Crawford could look bigger in the weigh-ins and all that stuff, but it's always a difference. When you get that fight with somebody, you can tell. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel fought him when he fought Crawford, and in all the stuff, the weigh-ins and the press conference, Jamel looked like the bigger man. You know, his head, his neck, everything looked bigger. But when they got in the fight, you can tell. You can see who really was the bigger man. And I think that's the same thing. Crawford is putting on weight, but it's not weight. Like Canelo had the weight already. He doesn't have to put on muscle. He doesn't have to do it. He's already big like that. But I think that Crawford does have the style. He does have the style to beat. If you look at the people that beat him or gave trouble, Irisline, DeLaura, Austin Trout, Floyd, and Bebo. You know, they gave him trouble and stuff like that. And Skull moved around a little bit too. So I think that Crawford has that, but I don't know how Crawford is going to respond when he gets hit. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel was undisputed at 154, and Canelo hit him and shit. Jamel was like, hell no. Jamel took a knee. You know, so it's a big difference. And Crawford had that one fight at 154, and he didn't. You know, Madrimov would touch him up a little bit. And this is nowhere close to Madrimov. This is, you talk about Canelo. Now I feel just another bigger guy. I would go with Crawford. But you talk about great. This might be. I mean, people might kill me for it, but well, not really. But this might be the best Mexican fighter ever.
Then there's the opinion of Roy Jones Jr., one of boxing's all-time greats. Having climbed through multiple divisions himself, Jones knows firsthand what it takes to succeed when moving up in weight. Unlike many others, he actually sees Crawford as the favorite in this fight. In Jones's view, Crawford is the more versatile of the two, a fighter with multiple paths to victory. While he respects Canelo's power and experience, Jones believes Crawford's hunger, intelligence, and adaptability will be the deciding factors. To him, Canelo will need to fight a near-perfect tactical battle just to keep pace.
He can fight on the correct fight that he can fight. He does have a chance, and I think he determines. If he doesn't fight the one way, he can only fight to win it. Terence Crawford has 6 ways he can win it. And my money will go on a man who has 6 ways to win it.
So you think Canelo has to kind of fight? Let's kind of go, let's talk about the weight a little, right? Because we all know everything you accomplished as a heavyweight.
What is certain, regardless of the predictions, is that this fight has gripped the boxing world in a way few events ever do. Some are already calling it the fight of the century, and with good reason. It's bigger than belts, records, or money. It's about 2 of the greatest fighters of this era colliding with their legacies on the line. From Plant's cautious optimism, Chavez Sr.'s bold certainty, Tava's faith in skill over size, Ruiz's focus on styles, Sanchez's warnings about the body, Ward's analytical breakdown, Lara's tactical blueprint, Khan's unique first-hand insight, Prograis' concerns, and Roy Jones Jr.'s belief in Crawford's edge. Every perspective paints a different picture, but when the first bell rings at Allegiant Stadium, none of those voices will matter. The truth will be written inside the ropes.